Yeah,
I think Love is Blind, they genuinely like they are sincere about why some of them are not,
yeah,
you
they're
know, it comes
genuine.
out.
Yeah,
I think they are sincere. I think the Nick guy, Nick is it was sincere in his kind of attitude. Um, so I guess we'll see. I mean, I guess I'll see. Because I'm, you know, I've only watched one episode.
yeah. I think
But
also
yeah,
the issue is that Hannah doesn't quite trust her gut, so
yeah,
she's a bit all over the place. And, and not to say that he's like completely clear, whatever, because he's also being a bit whatever. But I think she's giving sort of mixed signals, and she's all over the place, and she's just like sort of when you don't trust your gut 100%. You're going to be hot and cold. You're going to be on and off, and you're not going to
yeah,
be able to really commit to the person. And you you sort of look at this person and you go, seriously, this is the person that I want to be with. And you're like, one moment you like what you see, then the next you don't, and it sort of creates more issues than you would think from your gut instinct. Because like when you trust your gut instinct and say that I chose this person for a reason, and I feel that connection, and I feel like I can trust myself in trusting him, then you're sort of more committed, even when you're feeling a bit iffy, or there's a side of him that you suddenly see that's less attractive. You trust your gut instinct and go, you just let go. But when you don't trust your gut instinct, or when your gut instinct isn't good, but you're trusting it anyway, so it's like you're all over the place and you don't quite know how to handle any of it, if that makes sense.
yeah. It makes complete sense, and I think you were saying, you know, the difference between gut instinct and just kind of like your protective thought process is, you know, you said something really nice earlier about you need to be like completely available to listening to your gut and be in a completely kind
Mhm.
of safe environment, and then your gut will speak out to you when you're not in a completely safe environment, you're just kind of going to go on survival instinct, which isn't bad. I mean, I've spoken about monkey brain, you know, in previous episodes about, you know, monkey brain is here to help you
Mhm.
survive,
Yeah.
and you know, don't go there, and finally kind of let him drive the thing. Like you might miss opportunities, but you are in survival mode. Here, you are not in survival mode, but it's so uncomfortable that kind of it rattles monkey brain, and that's what you'll end up listening to. Whereas your gut is kind of like, you know, you're safe, and safety is so simple: is you've got a roof, you've got heat, you've got food, you hydrate and wash. So,
Yeah.
and you know, and then the rest of it is just relax. But it's not
Hmm.
relaxing, and especially with Love Is Blind, you know, there've been these court cases. You know, I sent you like previous seasons.
Yeah.
They are not completely safe. You know, they are given alcohol, long filming hours, so they're not in a completely amazingly secure environment. So I guess they're just, you know, they become survivor mode, and therefore gut instinct is wrong. And so to bring that back to kind of reality and not Love Is Blind, if you're on a first date, especially as a woman, if you're on a first date, you know, you're with a guy that you don't know. So there's some tension around that. And then in a place that you probably don't know, which I would suggest not doing. You know, you want to go to a place that you know and tell people about it. And then you've probably put on clothes and things like that that kind of step out of the ordinary for you, and you're just not feeling your best
Hmm.
self. So when you go home at that night and you've gone from this high of a day and then go home and relax, that's not your gut instinct talking to you. That is just everything falling back into place. So yeah, it's you know,
Yeah.
it's
It's
no
hard.
good.
Yeah. It's true what you're saying, because it's hard to take Love Is Blind seriously, in the sense of like, this is real life and I can reflect it in my own dating life, because it's not. And there's a lot of conditions that just don't happen in real life. And so in that sense, it's like, it's just okay. obviously you can't trust your gut instinct when you're
Yeah.
on a show that you're barely sleeping, you're drinking a lot, you're talking to a bunch of different people, so God only knows, like if you're maybe confusing someone, I don't
It
know,
doesn't it
or
doesn't even look
just
like they've got sunlight.
no, no, and yeah, we know how vitamin D is very important. Um, but like, so you having so many people in your that you're like, oh my God, and you can't see these people, you can't feel them, so you're not even getting a full picture from each person. Then yeah, then of course you won't be able to trust your
Yeah.
gut instinct. Of course you're going to be awkward and weird and just like the whole thing is going to be like messy. And even more so because there's a bunch of people with you who's also dating the same people or are giving you a bunch of opinions about that person because they've also been on a date with them. And I think also when you do trust your gut instinct and you trust yourself, you're much more capable of seeing through um, defense mechanisms,
Yeah.
or someone who's just very awkward on a first date or is just struggling to bring their best self forward in this specific situation. Um, for many different reasons. I think also Nick was probably like kind of bringing maybe a side of him that wasn't clear or that was different because he was, I don't know, it was awkward for him. He was feeling out of his element. Like when, for example, when Zev and I were dating, I was very cold at first. It's like it takes me a while to open up, and I'm just very like keeping him at arm's length. And because he trusted the process, he's trusted in himself and his instincts, then he sort of not only gave it a chance, but he also could see through it. Like he would tell me, I know this is a defense mechanism. I know that this is just part of you protecting yourself and it takes you time to warm up. So it helps. So when you trust your gut instinct, you can see past these little screens that people put
Exactly.
up to protect themselves.
Exactly.
So
So yeah, so I mean gut everything that pops into your head is not your gut instinct. It can be just a
yeah,
defense mechanism. And so, you need to you just talked about giving grace to somebody else who's in front of you, but
yeah,
give yourself grace and just like, okay, so this person might be messing up a little bit. I'm going to give them grace. And also these thoughts in my mind might be me
yeah,
messing up a little bit. I'm going to give myself some grace.
exactly. Yeah. When you're overthinking something already, then that's not a gut feeling
Yeah.
anymore. Then
Yeah,
that's not, you
exactly.
have to follow that initial instinct, or that I get these vibrations and these feelings in my body, or like if I get just like a sense of, yeah, then,
I mean, she said
and then a lot
something.
of time,
No, no, go. Go, go, go.
it's good to say that a lot of times you also try to convince yourself that you want something so bad, so you try to convince yourself that it should work and that it's not your instincts and it's not this, it's not that, whatever.
Yeah. It's And she said it early on where she said, he comes off as a bit of a player, but I think there's something deeper about him. That was a
Yeah,
gut instinct. That was
yeah,
something interesting because he may well be a player, but wanting something deeper because he's young, because, you know, he needs a bit, he needs somebody to comfort him. And if I'm right in, all of these kind of thoughts, I think she's messed it up. I don't think that, it would work out now. Even if they do end up back
yeah.
together, I don't think
I
it's going to
was
work out.
I was gonna say that she sort of messed up her own process because
Yeah,
I was gonna say at first like maybe they're just not a good fit, but I think something it won't. They're gonna they might have clashes because she's sort of everything he does now is gonna be under that microscope of,
exactly.
is this my gut? Is this you being this? Is it my head? Is it that? Is it so it's like it's sort of kind of tainted the process already, and it's like hard
Yeah,
for her to really let go now
I agree.
and see the, yeah. Anyway,
I agree. I think
we're
that
gonna need to talk about them once we see more episodes because there's a lot in that situation.
is there. Okay. I mean, I was going to suggest kind of going more towards the Hannah situation, but you've probably got a lot more insights than I do.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to talk about her as well. I mean, there's a lot to talk about a lot of them, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, we could do
Because,
what we did last season where we just went over once they pair up, it's easy because now you're not going to go over all of the people because it's a lot. But like once you have like the final pairs, we can go over each
yeah.
one and talk about them.
Maybe once I've watched all of the episodes, I'll message you and I'm like, let's just do a 20-minute go over everyone and talk about it.
Yeah,
Okay, let's
yeah,
do that.
yeah,
Um, shall we cut off and then kind of regroup and do another one?
yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for listening, guys. I'm not sure how the editing of this is going to go up, but we've done two episodes.
yeah,
One, we're about
yeah,
to do another couple, I think. Um, let us know what you think. Hopefully, this format is a bit more suited to your taste.
yeah, and easier for you to consume.
Yes.
And yeah, and yeah, let us know also what you thought of the first episode or just in general the new season of Love is Blind. And yeah,
Follow, subscribe,
like and
share,
everything, comment. Yeah.
and speak to you
Bye.
soon. Bye.
Yeah.